Hello everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 Warhammer battle. I am bringing the dwarves, my allies, the vampire counts. We are facing off against another vampire count and some greenskins. For my army composition, we are being led by Thorgrim Grudgebearer, the High King. I have two Thanes as bodyguards. The front line is made up of mostly basic longbeards, and then I have two dwarf warriors on the flanks. It's not showing that currently because we're currently moving our armies. But besides those four dwarves in the front, we also have an extra dwarf warrior here, three dwarf miners, two thunderers, the grumbling guard, dragonback slayers, and two additional slayers. When facing off against vampire counts, I typically go slayer heavy because their large creatures are rough to deal with. For the vampire count player, we have a couple zombies over here. We have skeletal warriors. They have a Vargul, some cryptors over here, and then I think Graveguard. Yeah, I think these are all Graveguard. And then their leadership is Isabella von Karstein and two vampires, one of Shadow, one of Death. And I think that's their whole army. For the enemy, the greenskin player has a Vanguard deployed Night Goblin Squighopper, which was never actually in the forest and hiding, so we saw it the whole time. I'm sure they thought it was hiding, I guess. And then the rest of the greenskin army is back here on a hill where we have two black orcs, a giant, two orc biggins, orc borer boy biggins, two two orc arrow boys, a doomdaver catapult, orc shaman, and being led by Grimgore Ironhide, and then also another group of orc boys over there. Yeah, I think that's the entire greenskin player army. So they're camping on the hill. The vampire count started on the hill, but then they are going to be marching down here. They have a bunch of skeletal warriors in the front, cryptors being led by Manfred von Karstein. We also have a group of Karen race, black knights, the dire wolves, a crypt ghoul, white king, a couple zombies back here. I forget which one this is. Vampire of shadows, and then more skeletal warriors back there. So a lot of skeletal warriors, one black knight. The biggest threats would be, I guess, the cryptors, the Karen wraiths, and their leadership, which is a couple vampires and the white king. I guess that would be the biggest concern. So for us, we were going to march. We started actually back here in the deployment zone, but we were going to march all the way up here because the enemy players are just kind of sitting there for a while. The vampire count, like I said, did march forward, leaving the greenskin player, and the greenskin player was talking some shit to the vampire count player around this time. Not entirely sure why. I guess maybe I missed part of the conversation. But this is when the vampire count player is going to march Manfred von Karstein up. I thought maybe they were going to try and summon some vampires, so I'm going to shoot them. We get our units close, but they're going to charge into our longbeards. My ally is going to jump on them with their three vampires. I'm going to jump on them with my two Thanes and Thorgrim. We're going to get our slayers on them. And Manfred tries to get out here.
Yes, yes.
But I know it's a dragon. I know it looks scary, it looks powerful, but if it can't lift off, it's going to die. And it was at this point that the greenskin player talked some more shit to the vampire count player, who I might felt kind of bad for. And so that kind of sucks. Don't be a shitty teammate. But also they are separated. The greenskin player is going to insist, I guess, just camping on this hill with their doomdaver catapults, and the vampire count player did not want to do that. So I don't know. Maybe the disagreement made the vampire count player charge their Manfred in. But clearly they didn't want the Manfred to die because they were trying to get them out of there. I guess they wanted to do some quick damage to get them the hell out, but we jumped on him immediately. But yeah, he's dead. So now we're going to march our Dawi army up the hill. We're going to have our Thunderers back here to try and pour some shots into the Vampire Count army. My Vampire Count ally is going to be splitting their forces. You can see here the Vargulf and Cryptors with some of the Graveguard. The elite forces are marching around to put a flank on the Greenskins, and the rest of their cheaper infantry and their leadership is going to be marching up here with me. I think this is when the Vampire Count's going to start moving the rest of their forces up. They're going to start moving their Cryptors and I think their puppies soon. I'm just trying to get my Thunderers in range, and I wanted them to fire on top of this hill because they would have a great line of sight to the enemy army. And the enemy army is actually going to start marching forward. They're going to throw their direwolves in here. And it was at this point I was like, well, maybe this player, maybe they're just a little new to the game, because no one is going to charge direwolves into a Longbeard unit. Not usually. But yeah, they'll start charging over here piecemeal. They're going to get their Black Knights. They're going to get their Crypt Ghouls. They're going to do massive charge onto our Dawi front line. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing, really. Greenskin player over here is going to get some shots off with the Doomdaver Catapult, and they again insisted on camping this hill. I don't know why. You're Greenskins, man. Charge. Like, leave the Doomdiver on the hill, but charge down. Actually, I think they do charge down here soon. Meanwhile, we were just shooting up these Cryptors, shooting up the Black Knights. I'm engaging units where I need to. I'm not throwing everybody in quite yet. Also back here, the green skin player did throw in their nice quick hoppers, but I had 3 slayers back here to stop them, so we killed them pretty quickly. And now I'm going to put some of our slayers up here with our miners. Going to get a dwarf warrior over here just so we can basically make a safe passage for our thunderers to go over here and try and get more shots on the enemy army, which we're going to be doing soon. So at this point, the green skin player is going to be marching down with the black orcs and their orc biggins and their orc boar boy biggins. And they're going to start crashing into my allies' cheap infantry, as the actual really good forces of my ally is again going to be marching up here, dealing with Grimgor, some orc boys, and they're going to try and get into this group of enemies. I'm also going to be running my slayers up here, and I want to try and assist against these orc boy biggins, and then I'm going to detach them because I also want to go boop, boop, boop up the hill and try and deal with these super diver catapults because they are raining death down upon me and my allies' army. But half my allies' army is going to get kind of crushed right here because the black orcs and the orc biggins are just a lot better than zombies and skeletal warriors. But I am kind of doing the same thing against the vampire count's army over here. These 2 dwarf warriors, I moved very quickly because I wanted to move them up, and then I wanted to move them over and do rear charges, but then I went microing other things like these slayers. So these cannon raids are actually going to just charge these dwarf warriors, and they're going to eventually kill them because I was busy doing other stuff. I got distracted with my slayers. You can see we're going to be killing these orc boar boy biggins, getting hit by the Doom Diver catapult, and then again, like I said, we're going to detach and go boop, 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 all the way up the hill.
Nothing could stop us. Strike
Vampire Shadow's going to be marching up here to try and fight us, so I'm going to stick my 2 Thanes and Thornton Grudgebearer on her. There goes this current race. And I was busy getting my Thunderers over here into position because I wanted to do a flanking fire on these Black Orcs that are bunched up all right over here. I'm getting my 3 minor groups nearby to support them in case they get charged by the Greenskins. And again, like I said, I'm just attaching these guys. But my allies' army is also up here, and they're going to be crashing in on these Orc Arrow boys and the 2 Diver catapults. Meanwhile, they're leaving 1 Graveguard behind to tie up this giant. Over here, we are going to deal with this Vampire Shadows relatively quickly. As our Thunderers are just kind of free to fire right now into the sides of these Black Orcs, who are destroying a bunch of Skeletal Warriors and Zombies. And I'm just having my Miners in reserve because there's no reason for me to throw them in yet. Same thing with my Slayers. They're just, right now, like a wall, basically. So I came all the way up here to try and kill these Orc Arrow boys in the Doom Diver catapult. By the time I got here, though, the Vampire Count army was already here doing that exact job. So I'm like, well, that was fun. So now we're going to march back down the hill like boop, 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 as these guys are firing to boop, boop, boop. I can't really make a bloop fast enough to sound like a gun, but that's what they're doing right over there. Vampire Shadows think is now dead due to our hero squad, and we're going to eventually march these guys over this way. You can see the enemy is going to start marching their Biggins over here into my Slayer group. I should have charged right here, but I was a little late on that. But still, we are focus firing down on the now 2nd group of Black Orcs that are fighting, or will be fighting, my Miners here soon. This group of Black Orcs is attaching on to my Slayers, so I'm just going to charge them. Like, yeah, that's fine. We're shooting them in the back right now. It's totally okay. Dragonback Slayers are going to get over here. Then I'm going to actually run and get chased by these Orc Biggins because I don't really want to fight them with the Dragonback Slayers. I want to keep these guys around for when we have to finish off the Giant. So I'm just going to leave these Biggins on a chase like and they're going to continue chasing me like we're Greenskins. As I continue to shoot up the flanks of these Black Orcs with our 2 Thunderers. Hero Squad now coming over here. We have wrapped up most of the Vampire Count's army, what remains of it. They still do have a Viking back here, but it's not that big of a threat at this point. And we're going to do a rear charge here on these Orc Biggins. And again, just firing into the sides of these Black Orcs. Meanwhile, up here, Grimgor is just being left alone, and this happens so often. Grimgor has no mobility, so there is absolutely no reason for the Vampire Count player to fight him because they're on horses. They have a lot of fast units over here, so they just disengage from Grimgor, leaving him alone on this hilltop. This poor lonely orc just wants to kill somebody, but he has no means to do so. He just sits up here. I mean, he at least could be walking, but I don't know. Maybe at this point the Greenskin player gave up. I don't know. So yeah, the Thunderers just kind of had a field day against the enemy Black Orcs. My Dawi front line was more than enough to kill the Vampire Count's front line. It took a long time, though, but we did it. And the Vampire Count allied went up here, cleared the hill, and yeah. Now here comes the Giant getting Spirit Leeched. And
It is an order.
so yeah, like, I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Like, maybe there was some private messaging going on, but yeah, the Greenskin player just was talking some shit to the Vampire Count player, and I don't know, maybe the Vampire Count threw the game. I have no idea. But clearly their teamwork was not there. Me and Big Guns Girl's teamwork was there. They did a really good job of flanking the enemy's artillery position. They came in really quickly to kill off Manfred and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was an odd game, and I even said so after the end of the match. That was a very, very odd game. But yeah, Dawi frontline did really good. Actually, like, everything did really well for my army here. Same thing, I think, for Big Guns Girl. The light infantry here did die, but they held off the orcs for a while. The Grave Guard honestly didn't get to do too much. But the Cryptors, the Vargulf, and the Leader Squad went around killing some key targets, so they did a great job there. For the Greenskin player, Black Orc still managed to get some kills. This giant killed a bunch of Grave Guard, but it wasn't enough. These guys killed some Slayers and different targets, but it wasn't enough. And the, I'm sorry, they're Orc Boar Boys. I was calling them Orc Boar Boy Biggins, wasn't I? Whoops. They got a decent amount of kills. Like, really, like, the infantry of the Greenskin player, besides his Orc Boys right here, did pretty well. But poor Grimgore, man. He has no mobility. He's super slow, so everybody just runs away from him because you don't have to fight him. And for the enemy Vampire account player, I don't know, maybe they were new. Maybe they're new to the game. I don't know. Or maybe they were just throwing it because they were pissed off at the Greenskin. I don't know. I have no idea. But good game to Big Guns Girl, Seth, and DH, or DL Henderson. Let's watch a cinematic view of that battle. An odd move. But again, I don't think they wanted Manfred to die, because you can see they're trying to get out. But Manfred, he's not super tanky on the dragon. Not super tanky. Such an odd game. Such an odd game.
Stop firing!
Alright, Dire Puppies. You're up.
Stop! Nothing can stop us! Dwarf, red axes!
And believe it or not, this is actually the best game of the 3 that I've played tonight. Oh man.
Strike out! Move! Ready to strike! Move on!
Like, I had a match that I just didn't want to show because one of the 2 players that I played against, they brought nothing but cannons. They were the Empire. So they brought a generic general and then nothing but cannons that were upgraded. And then the other player actually brought a decent army. But like the cannons, they were pretty brutal in the beginning. But I was playing as the Beastman for that one. And we just ran them over like the battle was like 2 minutes long. And I was like, I can't. Like, it's funny, but I'm not going to show this. The cannons had a very impressive, like, 2 salvos before we got onto them, though. They dealt a ton of damage to some Minotaurs that I had. But, I mean, like, they just crumbled instantly. I was like, what do you think? Like, I know cannons are cool, but, man. And the Beastmen are so fast. God, we were on them, like, just so quickly.
Nothing can stop us!
This poor vampire. Yeah, you can see the entire hero squad converging on her here. Slowly. Very slowly. With that big puppy. That cannon army. God, that's one of the fastest fights I've ever had. Because they all just broke. Like the cannon crews, the Empire, they just don't have any morale. Our gore herds and shit got in there and they were just like, well, this is done, we're done. Drop equipment, boys, we're out. It's like a 2-minute fight. And then I just collapsed it on the backside of the other player who actually brought a decent army. They were greenskins, and man. And yeah, they all just broke. The only thing left was like 20 cannons that had no crews. Maybe I should have showed that battle. I didn't say the replay though, because I didn't think it was long enough to really show. But it would have been a funny 2-minute video. Longest part of it would have been the introduction of the armies. That's right, Slayer's killing Black Orcs. Slayer's OP. Confirmed. They totally didn't have any help of the Thunderers back here that weakened these Black Orcs beforehand. Just kind of hanging out on these hills. Just firing away, nothing pressuring them at all.
To strike! Move! Reach far! Reach fast! Nothing can smash us! Vengeance! Attack! Shout! Vengeance! Blow through!
What up, Giant?
Kazook!
Kazook! And that was it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If I have another silly match like that Empire one, I'll probably just like throw it in on a random multiplayer battle. Like, oh, and by the way, here's a 2-minute fight with some beastmen and some cannons. Damn, now I really wish I saved that one. That's a missed opportunity, because that was really funny. But anyway, thanks again for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you all in the next battle. Take care.